Hey everybody, and welcome back to Channel 64. Today we're in the front of the base. So this is going to be a brand new area for our robot masters, and we're going to have a few of these actually up in the front here. So let's take to the skies and get a better vantage point of the area that we're going to be working in today. So as you can see, we have a bunch of forests over here, this big birch forest of course, and a little bit of a taiga right there, or maybe windswept forest. I'm not really sure what this is. But right now, we're going to actually be focused on this area right here. So my plans for this area is actually going to be a giant quarry. And I think what we're going to do is use the natural boundaries of this landscape. So you can see there's kind of this natural mountain, or at least a couple hills. I guess not quite mountains, but a few hills that are kind of bordering this area, and they go along actually towards the front there, and you can see it a little bit better as you're approaching from the front to the base. So you can see there's like this natural hill structure that kind of makes this wall. So we're going to be following that, and in this area is going to be a giant quarry. I'm planning on making some pathways down from Axolotl Woman's area. Not sure about Creeper Man because there's kind of a mountain in the way here, but maybe we can make a path up there somehow. And then of course this is going to be a giant hole. Oh yeah, so much more digging. Hey, at least it's not underwater this time. So I'm gonna go ahead and get to that right away since, well, there's a lot to do, and I've already started clearing out some of the trees. So let's hop into a time lapse and get that cleared out. Can you believe that only took 42 seconds to dig out? I mean, it looked like it took days and days and days and days and hours, but you know what? The video doesn't lie. Kidding aside, this is kind of the basic shape of our quarry. It's got this path that kind of comes down the side here and into the center, and then we also have a path over here as well. We're going to be retexturing this, obviously, to make it all cohesive and smoothing out a lot of the edges, plus lots of features. But I had to get the major digging part done. So with that, I'm going to start gathering some materials. And I know there is one thing that I don't have a lot of, and that is emerald ore. So we're going to go ahead and make a trip to some of the stony peaks to see if we can find some. Ooh, goats. We can't get distracted, but oh, there's one. Oh, and two, and three, and four. Let's put the fortune pick away so we don't make that mistake. Oh, hey. Ooh, and more in here. Here's some more. There's some stony peaks. And I see some more emerald. Not a lot. Well, at least there's calcite here. Could take some of that. Oh, here we go. There's a few over here. Okay, that's 16. I think that should be enough. And our Elytra is less than half durability, so let's head on back. All right, well, we've gathered all of our supplies. As you can see, it's quite a bit. You know, only 46 shulker boxes. I'm sure I'm going to have some extras. It's a little bit kind of free form because there's going to be lots of texturing down in the hole there. And of course, I don't know what I will need for that. I have a general idea, but there may be some extras. So we'll see when we're done what we actually ended up using. But I think it's time to get building. So the quarry is complete. So this is the quarry for Golem Man, and in it we mine up some of the quantum crystals that will be used to create more quantum batteries, or at least help me reverse engineer those. So we have a few different crystal types that are in here. We've got green, and we have a light blue, dark blue, purple, and yellow. And I think those all came out pretty nice. I went ahead and retextured the walls to kind of match up what we had below Axolotl Woman's area, just kind of carrying that texture over. And that's kind of a combination of cobblestone, tuff, the cobble deep slate, regular deep slate, and basalt and smooth basalt, and just kind of going through different gradients. And of course on the ground here I have it going from stone into those gradients as well to kind of give it a little bit more of a smooth texture. And we have a walkway that goes all the way up to our north entrance of the base and all the way up and around to Axolotl Woman's area. So this little portable building right here is actually going to be our foreman's office. And with this allows us to trigger the giant metal. That is, yeah, that's right, it's another met. And inside the met is actually a cobblestone and basalt arm. And the way we turn that on is we actually click on this right here, and that activates Wireless redstone. Yep. So we hit that right there. We should see the lights on the eyes light up, and that's how we know it's working, as if by magic. It isn't really magic, it's just some really cool, quirky redstone and game mechanic that was discovered by 202 Name, and been showcased off in a few like Sidecraft videos. I think Cubic Meter did a really nice, tutorial kind of showcase of the technology, and you can use this quite a bit for all sorts of things. But in this case, I'm using it to turn on the farm. I have noticed some quirks though, and that is it sometimes turns itself on, and I'm not sure why. So hopefully it doesn't blow itself up again, because this has blown itself up a few times, and we'll take a closer look at that in just a second. To kind of explain how it works in the most basic layman's term as possible, it is utilizing a way to detect entities being created, and the way it's done is basically any entity that falls, any item that's created in the game, and you drop the block below it, it will basically calculate that fall every 4 ticks. And to make it more realistic in the game, they don't have every block fall at the same time, so there's actually 4 different spots that an item can be assigned. So 1 through 4, and what you do is you have a clock that's basically synced up with this clock that's in here, and what happens is that's always dropping 3 items. And so the clock up in the actual metal is waiting for an additional item to be created, in which case it will be out of sync then, and then that's what turns it on. That is a horrible description on how to do it. I highly suggest you go watch Cubic Meter and 202 Names videos. They're way more intelligent when it comes to this really high-end redstone stuff. I'm just good at following designs. So, as I mentioned, we have, our path up to Axolotl Woman's area. We're going to kind of take a quick peek here. I added a bit more of the blending, even outside of our time lapse, to kind of blend the 2 areas here. So I added another flower bed kind of thing that we had up in there. And then, of course, bringing some of the flowers out to kind of blend these 2 areas even more. I probably should do a little bit more right here. That may be a little bit later. What else? Oh yeah, so heading on down here, this should be still running, and it's hard to see, but we should be having items fall out of there as well. It may be, we may not be able to see those because they're too far away, but they should be ending up down into our storage area right here, which we can just hop on in here. And yeah, I can hear them falling down. So, oh, that is going quite fast. So this tells me that this must have turned itself on while I wasn't paying attention, because I haven't been running it that long. So let's head on up to the giant metal and take a look at it. Pretty cool looking. I love his little rocket boosters. Oh, there we can kind of see some of it falling out. That is just a little bit of powdered snow there. And we can actually kind of look at here through the maintenance area. Apologies for the loudness with all the explosions and everything going on. And this farm is, I believe, by a guy named Mr. Bazuki, and it's pretty sweet. So I decided to take out the duper, and so this is actually dispensing TNT that I load into the system because I have bad... I don't have a great experience with dupers not blowing themselves up. So rather than fight it, I just went ahead and built one that just dispenses TNT. So we have TNT loaded into a few chests up there. So this basically creates, the basalt and the cobblestone, and then goes and explodes it. It goes through a water stream, ends up falling out through the bottom to our collection area. This purple right here is that wireless redstone clock I was telling you about. And I'll try to take a look at this real quick from up here, see if we can get a better view. So So we have the clock ticking, pulsing right here, and then we have these two lines that are encoded to basically only detect signals coming from our sending unit. We can change these encoders to work with, I think it's like up to 16 different channels. More if you add more of the repeaters or comparators. And like I said, I'm not entirely sure how this all works. I just know that it, basically syncs up those items to drop at certain times and detects it through there. So you'll see as we come over here, as I fall over here, that it is dropping items and it's detecting when those fall. And based on when they fall in here, if it's in the right order, and it looks like we're getting some loss there. That's fantastic. I wonder why that's doing that. Maybe we're missing some glass, probably. No worries, I'll fix that. All right, so I'm gonna go shut this off so I can fix that error there. Constant work in progress, this redstone is. Of course, this, is turning on the farm, and that also lights up the eyes down here as well. So let's go flip that farm off so that we can work on that redstone. Oh yeah, and then of course it's falling down here into this grinder that I made, which apparently is also full. I think there's a little bit of a backup there. All right, well, we'll have to take a look at that. Let's go shut the system off. Then we can take a quicker peek at some of the more detailed parts of the build. And lights off. There we go. Ooh, chaotic. It's always fun to triage stuff. Oh my goodness, I have a ton of cobblestone. This thing is pretty fast, I guess. I'm wondering if these are just full. Oh, interesting. Okay. We'll have to get in there and fix some of this stuff. So many things to fix. All right, and so now we're at the bottom of the quarry, and we can get a better view of giant metal. I love that at night. It's pretty sweet looking with the giant flames. These are a couple of the cranes that we brought over from the junkyard, so those are a similar design there. I like the contrast against the gray, little pops of color here. Speaking of pops of color, of course, our quantum crystals are growing here, so a little bit more to work with, of course, with purple with the crane obsidian and our amethyst blocks, and then of course our gold colored crystals as well right there, and we've got some darker blue right here, and then getting into the more expensive stuff, our green with our emerald ore there, and then of course flaunting all of our rare diamond ore in our light blue crystals right there. I mean, I'm not surprised anymore. They're just everywhere. Anyways, with that, that's all the time we have left in this episode. I thank you guys for watching. Thank you for checking things out. I wanted to go ahead and introduce our brand new Robot Master this episode, but he's not quite ready for the prime time yet. So we'll get to that in the next episode. Once again, thank you guys for watching. I hope that you liked the episode, and if you did, leave a like down below. Hey, and if you're subscribed, great. If you're not subscribed, well, we can fix that. Click on that button down below to get subscribed. Thank you very much. Until next time, safe travels, everyone.